Hey y'all, it's Tiffany. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we get a child through foster care. Okay, I probably should have went through, how the whole home study works, and if anybody's interested in that, I can try to answer questions about that. But let's just say that we are home study ready, we are licensed, we are waiting for a child. Here's what happens. The agency knows what I'm looking down at my notes. The agency knows what we're open to is in regards to age, sex, number of kids, etc. They know what we're open to. And like I said, we are licensed and ready and waiting. So we're just waiting for our agency to give us a call to ask us if we can take a child. And what happens, the child comes into care with CPS. And that, of course, that can be for a number of reasons. I think we can all use our imagination or our knowledge to know what that is. And what happens is CPS will have the child in custody for whatever reason, neglect, babies. Sometimes it's medical neglect if they're coming straight from the hospital because of drugs, abandonment. I really don't, imprisonment. I don't know what all a baby what all reasons a baby would be except abandonment and neglect. I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons, but that's a newborn. And of course, once they leave the hospital with mom and dad, there's many reasons. And you try not to think of all the reasons because they're actually pretty sad. So what happens is CPS has a child in custody, child or children. And what they do is they send a blast, like a big announcement out to all the agencies with the information on the child. So each agency starts calling around to the families. They want to know if you'll take them, even if you're not open to, say, let's say there's a 4-year-old and I'm only open to up to 3. They may call me anyway and give me the chance to say no. So they start calling families, and then people say yes or no. And then the agencies decide, they start looking through their files between these families of yeses, and then they call CPS and say, okay, we've got a family. Now, CPS has to decide between all the agencies who've called in with families, so they have to decide between that. And then we get a call back saying yes or no. For instance, whenever we got, the call for little lady, we got a call for a 5-month-old little girl with a 3-year-old sister and a 7-year-old brother. Well, they knew we weren't open to the 7-year-old brother, and we weren't licensed for 7-year-old brother, so the 7-year-old brother was going to go somewhere else. In the meantime, I said, yes, I'll take them. That didn't mean I was going to get the children. What that meant is they were going to call CPS and say, we have a family who's willing to take the 2 little girls. Then CPS has to decide between all the agencies who are calling and saying, oh, we got a family. Excuse me, they got to decide which family is going to be best suited for these children. And then you get a call back later, and they'll say, okay, you've got the baby. Or that's what happened to me. I didn't get the 3-year-old. They decided in the meantime the 3-year-old was going to go with the brother. So they called me back and said, you've got the 5-month-old. And that's when you start waiting again. You have to wait for CPS to call you. And then, because this is the agency's calling you saying you got them. Then CPS caseworker will call you because each child has a caseworker. And so the caseworker called me and said, I hear you're going to be fostering the 5-month-old little girl. And then she'll tell me all about her, just like the agency did, and any medical issues about the family. And hopefully you can get some reunification goals from them. And of course, reunification goals are always to be reunited with the family. However, sometimes that's just not possible. So hopefully you can get a few hints from them. Since we are a foster to adopt house, our hope is to get children who would be more easily adopted. I don't know. Like, for instance, a little lady, we knew she was an emergency placement and she was going to be going with her grandparents. So we knew that she was not a forever baby to be in our home. However, Blondie, on the other hand, might be. And of course, you just don't know. So the CPS caseworker calls and says, okay, I'm going to be bringing her, and you decide on a time and make sure she has directions, and then they come in the next few hours. You've got a baby or a set of siblings or a teenager, whatever you're open to. You open the door and there's your foster child. And opening the door and seeing the baby for the first time it's an emotional time for me, because babies, just instantly fall in love with them. When I first opened the door to Blondie, I was like, oh wow, she is just like a little angel. And then my second question was, are you sure she's 8 months? Because she was a tall girl. Very beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes. So she is an angel. She's still with me. So then the CPS worker comes with the child, and she hands him over, because you're already licensed, approved home. There's no reason for her to start asking questions to make sure you're okay, because that's already been done. So hands you over, you start loving on the child, and hopefully the child is not crying too much. So far we haven't had that. Even with the little 3-year-old who came over, her and her brother came over when they were bringing the 5-month-old little lady over. And I know this is all very confusing, but even the older kids weren't crying. They came here first, and then they were going to where their foster home was going to be. And then when Blondie came, she was just a little shy, a little scared. I mean, it's different. She's not shy and scared with us now, though. But so the CPS worker brings them in, and you get to love and hold on them, and all the while she's giving you information, throwing paperwork at you. You're signing papers. You're trying to get all the information you can. Of course, you can always call them, but you want to get as much information as you can right then. And my hair is looking bad. So I thought it was going to take hours to do this paperwork. They come in, bam, bam, bam. They have you sign all this stuff. You're left with the medical consenter. You're left with your placement papers, and hopefully you have some kind of background information about the child. Maybe not. You just don't know. And but a lot of speculation comes, a lot of maybe this, maybe that, and then hopefully within the next few days you get more concrete information. And so with both placements, the CPS people were here less than 30 minutes. Came in, dropped the kids' stuff off, and left. And I mean, that's what they have to do. It sounds really sad, and it really is, but you can't look at it that way, because you're here to provide a safe place for the children. As sad as it is, it's just what you got to do. They need you, and you just do it. When little lady came, it was like they brought a few things for her, like she was just going to stay the week, maybe a weekend. When Blondie came, I think everything that poor little girl had in her life came with her. Everything from half-open baby shampoo, little barrettes for her hair, everything. Everything came with her. They didn't bring the baby bed, and he didn't bring a playpen, even though I think that's what she slept in, because he said he had her playpen to sleep in, but he wouldn't fit in his car, the CPS worker. So but that was okay. We didn't want that because she also came with a little rash, and we were questioning some of her stuff. So all of her stuff went out into the garage, and hopefully it'll stay there forever because we have nice, clean things for her here. Nice, clean, safe things for her here. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. That's about all. Once the CPS worker leaves, you're left with a baby to take care of. And you don't know for how long. It could be for the weekend. Could be for the night. It could be for the rest of their life. The rest of your life. And that's what we're hoping for. So anyway, I'm glad you're coming along with this on this journey with me, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.